Hello, YouTubes. What is up? I'm fired up today, rallying the troops here to talk about a brand new indie game that's come across my radar. Bit of a sleeper, and in my opinion, a must play, but we'll get into that a little bit later. This is a monster tamer game that actually just released to early access today on Steam. We covered the demo of this game a few weeks back and had a lot of hope for it. I had a lot of good things to say, but today we're going to talk about the full early access release here, and I'm going to do more of a review / breakdown of as much of the game as possible for you. So yeah, the game is Yaoling Mythical Journey, which is an RPG adventure game with creature collecting, open world elements, and of course, the thing I want to hammer home here is the auto battling mechanics. And I know that might turn some people off. I know some people don't prefer that, but I think it's an extremely important thing that we get new takes on battling and battle mechanics in this genre. And I think we should support things like this as a community because we want to get away from the traditional turn-based, I'll call it Pokemon-like battling mechanics, I think as much as we can, if nothing more than to just experiment. And I think this game does the battling beautifully. So it is an auto battler. You sort of take your units, place them on the battlefield in a strategic position to counter the enemy, and then the creatures battle on their own. But it's very important to note that this mechanic is very fun. It has a lot of real-time elements to it with craftable charms that you can use in real time during the battle to either do damage to your opponents, heal your own team, debuff opponents, buff your own team, etc. And I think that makes it really fun, and that's also how you capture these Yaolings is when you do damage to them in battle, you use a real-time element to cast a charm and catch the Yaoling. So again, I think it's really fun and really important that we have these sort of unique battle mechanics entering the Monster Tamer Creature Collection genre. This game is big. There's 300 different Yaolings you can use that sort of have the variety to satisfy everybody, in my opinion. There's humanoids, beast-looking things, silly-looking things, a lot of ducks, which are very cool, and not only visually different, but they all play quite different and allow you to strategize and create really cool team comps. Every new area in this game, I was really captivated to actually try to catch every single Yaoling because I wanted the variety, and I thought they were all really interesting designs and had unique mechanics that I wanted to try on my teams in the auto battling format. Yaolings also evolve, which is obviously very key. I think the evolutions are really cool, and they showcase a lot of variety of talents and attributes and stats and all that sort of thing. So I thought it was super cool. Also important to note, there is a shiny system, which I found myself trying to find. There's like elite Yaolings, which are kind of like alphas in other games that you can catch. You can even catch bosses. A little bit of a spoiler, but yeah, you can catch shinies, different colors, elites, all those sorts of things. So that's really fun. Ultimately, the game is chill. I love the vibes. The vibes are immaculate. I wouldn't quite call it a cozy game, but it is certainly a chill vibe. You can kind of go at your own pace. The open world is pretty big. But what I found most impressive with the open world is the ability to explore. I love when in games they have hidden secrets around corners, treasures, things like that. And although there are no real platforming elements in this game, there's tons of secrets to find, and you are definitely rewarded for exploring the beautiful world. Again, I want to stress that the art style is really cool. And there's also a weather system in the game that makes the environments look even more beautiful. So I really, really do want to stress that the open world in this game is very fun. You can definitely take it at your own pace. There's nothing locking you out of advancing or certain things. You can just kind of go, catch shinies if that's what you're into, or progress the story as fast as you want. And there is also a pretty fleshed out fast travel system that if you're not one for exploring, you can always just use that, unlock all the gates, and kind of pop around and do your thing. And yeah, you can really play it however way you want, which I appreciate in a game. Now, as for the story, obviously I don't want to spoil anything as the game has just released to early access today, but there is a lot of lore. You're in a place called the Land of the Ancients. Yaolings, which are the monsters, and humans kind of coexist. but these Yaolings are becoming corrupted due to, again, I don't really want to spoil, but that's sort of the kickoff for the story. It's making the Yaolings evil and sort of attack humans and do all sorts of different naughty things. Throughout the story, you challenge different schools while you're also trying to figure out the mystery of why the Yaolings got corrupted. The schools are, I guess, similar to gym badges or sort of thing, gym challenges where you earn tokens. They do get progressively more challenging, which I like. When I played the demo, one of my largest concerns was that it was a little too easy for me once you're optimizing your builds and stuff like that. But the game does get decently more challenging as you go through. And definitely rewards you again for exploring all the different battle mechanics and team building. So that's pretty cool. There is no voice acting per se, which at first I was a little disappointed by. Obviously, this is an indie studio, guys, so voice acting is sort of a large budget type thing. But I was actually kind of endeared by the voice acting the more I went through the game. The NPCs sort of do this gibberish-esque speaking, and at first I didn't know what to think about it, but I actually kind of love it now, and it suits the vibe of the world and the lore, I think, really well. So there is that. I do like the story. I'm interested what you guys think, so let me know. In terms of other mechanics outside the battling and catching and build optimizing, there are some pretty unique things going on here as well. Yaolings can stay in your village to work. They earn you things like money and resources. They can cook and craft different charms for you. So that's pretty neat. I always love this in a game where, you know, sometimes as you expand your team and your Yaolings get stronger and stronger, other Mons are just sort of forced to the back of the box, never to be seen again. So you can always find things for your Yaolings to do back at the village. And it really rewards catching various different Yaolings, right? I'd also be remiss to say there is a fishing minigame, which everybody always loves. I do like the fishing minigame in this. You can get some ingredients for crafting, coins, and even some wild Yaolings in there, so that's really nice. As well, everybody loves a fishing minigame. And then breeding. There's also breeding that comes a little later on in the game, which, again, if you are try-harding it, you can go for really, really optimized stuff in the breeding system with the eggs. So, again, there's a lot going on here for an indie game, and I think this is a sleeper hit, guys. I think this is a must-play if you're into creature collection, monster taming games. The art style is crazy. I just can't shout out that enough. And the uniqueness is really there for me. I think something that happens in the monster collector genre is they get a little too cloney of other games. And I don't feel like Yaoling really does that. It's really trying to do its own thing with the battle system, with the unique creatures. And I can really appreciate that, right? I think there's a lot of love gone into this. And I suggest checking it out. The game is only $19.99 right now, which is a steal of a deal. It is in early access, so don't worry though. All of the early access gameplay that you save, all your save files will carry over to the full version upon release, so there's no like double tracking back or anything like that. And I think this is a steal of a deal. Like I said, a lot of love went into this. It is a big game. 300 Yaolings is nothing to scoff at. I haven't finished it myself, but I'm marking this one down as a must play for anybody who's interested in monster taming, like I said. I'm going to do a separate video on my favorite Yaolings, but right now, Wen 10 and Bungo, I'm an enjoyer of those two. So I am interested to find out what your favorite Yaolings are if you do decide to play this. And yeah, that's going to be it, guys. Please subscribe if you're new, and I cover a bunch of different monster taming, creature collection games, and of course, Pokemon as well. I love you guys very much. Let's get this popping. Let's support this game. It's a really cool indie game and a lot of fun. Love you guys very much. Peace!